Hello, good evening and welcome. You're with the news on India Today. I'm Ankit Tyagi. These are the 7 top stories of the day. In its daily briefing, the government informed that India has recorded 1,553 cases in the last 24 hours, the highest single-day spike in the coronavirus cases so far. Ministry of Health has said 80% of the cases have shown less symptoms and pegged India's recovery rate at 14.75. ICMR has also clarified on rapid testing, saying rapid tests are for surveillance. Let's listen in to the important takeaways from the briefing today.
कल से एडिशनल कंफर्म केसेस देश में 1553 आए हैं, which takes the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 17,265. Last 24 hours में 36 न्यू डेथ्स भी रिपोर्ट हुई हैं. डबलिंग रेट ऑफ केसेस, जिसका मतलब है कि कितने दिनों में टोटल केस काउंट डबल हो रहा है, उसको हम अलग अलग इंटरवल्स पर कैलकुलेट करते हैं और जिसके तहत हमने पिछले 7 दिनों के डबलिंग रेट के बेसिस पे जब कैलकुलेट किया तो देखा कि इंडिया का डबलिंग रेट लॉकडाउन से पहले जो 3.4 था, अब वह इंप्रूव होकर 7.5 हो चुका है. और इससे संबंधित और भी एक अच्छी न्यूज़ ये है कि अगर हम 19 अप्रैल तक का डेटा लें तो इस नेशनल एवरेज के तहत 18 स्टेट्स में नेशनल एवरेज से बेटर परफॉर्मेंस और बेटर इंप्रूवमेंट नोटिस किया गया है. अराउंड 80% केसेस या तो एसिम्प्टोमेटिक या माइल्ड सिम्टम्स के साथ पाए जाते हैं. जो वर्ल्ड वाइड हम लोगों ने इसको एनालिसिस किया है, अराउंड 15% केसेस हैं जो सीवियर केसेस में कन्वर्ट होते हैं, जिनको हो सकता है कि ऑक्सीजन सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत पड़े, और 5% केसेस जो होते हैं वो क्रिटिकल केसेस में कन्वर्ट होने के चांसेस होते हैं.
कुछ जिलों में कोविड-19 के संक्रमण की स्थिति गंभीर है या गंभीर होती जा रही है, जैसे राजस्थान में जयपुर, मध्य प्रदेश में इंदौर, महाराष्ट्र में मुंबई और पुणे, पश्चिम बंगाल में कोलकाता, हावड़ा, 24 परगना नॉर्थ, मेदिनीपुर ईस्ट, दार्जिलिंग, जलपाईगुड़ी और कालिम्पोंग. इन चारों राज्यों के प्रभावित जिलों का ऑन द स्पॉट आंकलन करने के लिए आपदा प्रबंधन अधिनियम 2005 के अंतर्गत गृह मंत्रालय ने 6 इंटर मिनिस्टीरियल सेंट्रल टीमों का गठन किया है.
Now, in a shocking video from 2 areas in Chennai, doctors who died fighting COVID-19 were insulted, even in death. In Kilpock area, a group of 100 people staged protests against the burial of a doctor who died from coronavirus. The body of a 55-year-old doctor, Dr. Simon, was taken for burial at the Kilpock cemetery, but mob blocked the road and pelted stones at the ambulance which was carrying the doctor's body. Unable to control the situation, the police requested the doctor's family to take the body to a different cemetery for funeral. Now, a case has been registered against 20 people who stopped the doctor's burial. Similar incident was earlier reported from Ambattur on April 13th, where a crowd gathered near a crematorium to stop the cremation of a doctor who had died of coronavirus. The 62-year-old doctor was later cremated in a different cemetery with help of police and the corporation.
இவ்வளோ ஒரு வேதனையை மக்கள் புரிஞ்சுக்காம, அதனால் எந்த பாதிப்பு இல்லைங்கிறத தெரிஞ்சுக்காம எங்களெல்லாம் கல்லை கொண்டு அடித்து விரட்டி பாடி அப்படியே போட்டுட்டு வரக்கூடிய சூழ்நிலை ஏற்பட்டுச்சு. இந்த எந்த ஒரு மனிதனுக்கும் இந்த நிலைமை வரக்கூடாது. அரசாங்கம் இன்னும் அதிகமாக இதில் கவனம் செலுத்தணும்.
I now want to quickly go across to Dr. Pradeep, who was in the ambulance with deceased Dr. Simon and is live with us. Doctor, first of all, our condolences. One of your colleagues passed away fighting coronavirus, and we, if I can say this on behalf of possibly all the people, we are absolutely, it's shameful what happened, when you were taking the body for burial. If you can just once again tell our viewers what exactly happened. Why did the people object there?
As soon as we received his body. We were proceeding to actually bury him in a cemetery. Before we ourselves, family and friends, came to know that we were going to bury him, the people had already gathered there. I don't know how they came to know about the situation. They had already gathered there and they started the protest. And so that the protest was going on, so we had to shift the venue. The health department official said, "Sir, we can't go there." So we had to shift the venue. So we shifted the venue and went to a different place where the JCB, the procliner, was digging deep, because of the WHO guidelines, we had to do a deep burial. So we had to dig around 12 feet deep. So the procliner was digging because of the noise the procliner was making or something, I don't know. There were a lot of crowd gathered, and nowhere, there were nearly about 60 to 70 people who just barged in from nowhere, started pelting stones and hit us all with the sticks, and they broke all the window panes and windows of all, the ambulance, and they hit each and every one. It was so traumatic that we had to all literally fly from there for our lives, holding Dr. Simon on one hand, and we had to fly away from there. And both of the ambulance drivers were very badly hit, and they were bleeding from their head and from their face. It was very difficult for us. Then from there, with no ambulance driver, we had to go back to the New Hope, and then I just sent them to a hospital where they had to be taken care. And with no ambulance driver and none of them to help, literally I had to put on the PPE and take 2 ward boys along with me, and I had to drive the broken ambulance with Dr. Simon in it. And I went back. On my way, I just made sure that I made few phone calls to friends of mine in police, and they had by the time arranged a few battalions there, and they had taken the situation under control. But still, it was very scary. We went back, and by the time we went back, we didn't have anybody to help us to bury the body there, because the corporation workers have already fled from the scene, and I didn't have anybody there to even help us to. So we were, and then finally we realized that only we 3 of us were the ones who were wearing the PPEs, and whatever it is that we had to only do it. So with holding Dr. Simon on one hand, and on the other side, the fear of again being attacked by a bigger mob, 200 to 300 people this time, because they had a window period of near about 1 hour now to gather.
Right.
So we just so scared when they would come and attack us. And literally, we dug, we had to put him there and close the mud with our own hands. And we couldn't have, because none of us knew how to operate a JCB. So we had to I had to literally push the mud with my own hands and using a single shovel. And the nearby police helped us. One single gentleman from police, he said, "Sir, you people are doing, I'll also come and help you." But at the end of the day, they were so scared looking at us, because we are all, wearing PPEs, and, we are having a COVID positive body with our hands, and they don't want to contact.
Absolutely.
And the police were also a little reluctant to, come and help us. So, and they were just standing there, and what they could do was just give us some protection. I was just begging them, "Sir, please come and stand nearby, because I don't want to get hurt." And we had to rush the burial so fast that I had to literally, we 3 of us pushed everything into the mud. It was crazy.
I'm so sorry. There are no words to express what you went through, and I can understand you're very emotional right now, sir. At this point of time, would you like to tell the people, those who go across on Sundays and everything, take your moment, sir. We'll just take a moment.
I'm fine. It's not new to me. I've been crying from the day I buried him. The moment I buried him, it's not easy. You don't bury someone day in, day out. I've seen deaths in my hands. I'm a doctor. I've seen deaths in my hands. I have not buried anybody. Burying a friend of ours and colleague of ours is not easy, and that too with nothing else apart from your own hands too.
It's
I'm fine, absolutely fine.
It's very heartbreaking, and it puts all of us at shame. And I hope that people, those who are watching, do realize that this doctor had to in fact dig a grave of a colleague himself, because of the people, those who did not even allow a proper send-off to a man who is a doctor himself, who was fighting COVID-19 cases. Dr. Pradeep, you know, a lot of people do come out. They clap and we see all these visuals of people celebrating Corona warriors. A lot of is made of it. Would you like to say something to those people today? I mean, we can understand that there is misinformation, there is fear among people. Would you like to, at this point of time, through this platform, like to say something to those people, at least dignity for those who are actually risking their own lives for us?
I understand, sir. Everybody are scared. One thing, we are all scared as well. Not just you. Every one of us are scared. But I'll tell you what. People deserve better send-off. At the last stage, you just can't disrespect someone so badly. This man, let alone him being a doctor or anybody, any human being per se doesn't deserve this kind of a treatment. We as a humans should feel ashamed. We have failed. There is no humanity left in us anymore, because you just witnessed a doctor who has been serving the community for so long. He chose this path. We know, we day in day out, we see so many patients with TBs and HIVs and HIV, HBsAgs and all. We know that we can get contact from them. Knowing that only we chose this path. It's like a soldier knowing that they're going to die one day or the other, fighting for the country. Same way, every doctor chooses this path. They know, they put themselves on risk every day. I'm not a hero, sir. I don't treat COVID-19 patients. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I'm very far away from that. But whatever I had to do yesterday, I wish none of us will ever get to do that. I had to bury someone with my own hands and with no help at all, literally with my own hands.
Dr. Pradeep,
the people should have to understand, sir.
Yes.
I don't blame them at all. I don't blame them. I don't blame people at all, because there has been a lot of misinformation. They are scared. They don't understand. Okay. They need better awareness. The government has to tell them that by properly cremating a body, that is by digging 12 feet deep, it is not going to spread. So it is the duty of the government to make sure that the people understand this. People don't know. Sir, first, I myself, I don't know. There are certain things which are there, like a triple layered bag, which is so thick and sturdy enough that can hold a dead body and it can prevent infection.
Yeah. No, it's very important. What you are saying is very important. This kind of information, this kind of, in fact, proper guidelines, what is happening, how the government and the doctors, in fact, are making sure that even a dead body doesn't become a transmitter. All these things have to be told to the people so that such attacks in future can be stopped. But I would just like to end this by saying we are very thankful to the service that all of you are providing, and also our condolences to you once again and to the family of Dr. Simon. It's very, very shameful what happened to this man, even in his in his send-off. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to India Today. There is breaking news coming in on the broadcast right now. In fact, the officials of the National Health Authority, Ayushman Bharat, has been sealed. The office, in fact, has been sealed when an employee tested positive for COVID-19. In fact, the entire building is now sealed, and the building is in the Connaught Place area in the national capital. Milan, my colleague, joining us with more details. Milan, so Ayush, just bring our viewers more details. Did this office open today? Now, what is going to be the procedure from here on?
So our building at this point has been sealed. We would conceal the identity of the employee of the National Health Agency who has tested positive. This is the same authority that looks at the Ayushman Bharat scheme implementation. The person has tested positive and has been referred to the designated hospital. The building is situated near Connaught Place area, and the entire staff of the building, which has other offices as well, have been told to work from home. The building is sealed and is being sanitized at this point of time. But the officials who are working there will also be quarantined and will further be tested for any signs of COVID. For now, the office is sealed and no one will be working from there. Everybody has been advised to work from home.
All right, thank you for joining us with all those details, Milan. So building is sealed as of now of the Ayush Health Department. All right, a number of states are giving minor respite from lockdown starting today. Maharashtra, the worst affected state, has taken the boldest step of allowing limited industrial activity in green and orange zones where the outbreak is under control. Rajasthan has allowed construction, industry, farming with ample restrictions. Curbs on remaining activities will continue till May 3rd. Uttar Pradesh has allowed limited construction activity in the state. All heads of the government departments, including junior officers, will resume work. Punjab and Delhi has ruled out any relaxation from the lockdown till May 3rd. Telangana government has also extended the lockdown till 7th of May. After centre's wrap on coalition on the lockdown violation, the Kerala government is likely to reconsider the lockdown relaxations. Meanwhile, the government of Kerala had, in fact, given a few relaxations as far as the hotels are concerned, also to the salon and riding of pillion riders on a two-wheeler.
From Monday, that is 20th of April, the government of West Bengal has announced several measures and several easing of regulations also. Now with this, what changes for the state of West Bengal? The flower markets continue to remain open, the vegetables, the fruits, the regular markets continue to remain open. I'm here at the lake market, which has been open for almost every day. But what has changed? They're not just the social distancing or wearing of masks being made compulsory, being monitored by Kolkata police at every place and every corner of the city, but also ensuring that the government offices open from today with a basic attendance of around 25%. The IT services will also be opening, have been allowed to open their offices today and operate with a basic attendance of 25%. However, the 60 jute factories across the state of West Bengal will be allowed to operate with only 15% of attendance. And with this, as the lockdown continues, even West Bengal continues to see a spike in the number of cases of COVID-19 for now. With camera person Tapas Berry, this is Manogya Loiwal in Kolkata for India Today.
Now, the Palghar lynching incident in which 3 people were killed on suspicion of being thieves has sent shockwaves across the country. Maharashtra Chief Minister has assured all culprits in the Palghar lynching case will be brought to book and asserted that there was no communal angle to the incident. Maharashtra government has suspended 2 cops in connection with the lynching incident. Over 100 people have been arrested so far. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Home Affairs has sought a report from the government of Maharashtra. The incident took place on April 16. Shocking visuals show angry villagers armed with sticks and stones attacking a 70-year-old man who pleads for mercy. 2 of those killed were sadhus. The third was the driver who was traveling along with them.
ह्यातले 5 जे मुख्य आरोपी आहेत ते आज तुरुंगात आहेत. पुलिस क्या कर रही है, सरकार क्या कर रही है? किया ना, कर रहे हैं, हमने किया, किसी को नहीं बख्शा और किसी को भी हम छोड़ेंगे नहीं. वो इसमें मैं सिर्फ कहना चाहता हूं कि जो भी लोग इसमें आग लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, आग ना लगाए. ये कोई मजहब की बात नहीं है, सिर्फ गलतफहमी जो हुई इस कारण इनकी हत्या हुई, लेकिन इसके बावजूद हम किसी को भी छोड़ने वाले नाही. ह्याच्यात मी जात-पात धर्म बघत नाही. एक तर तिथल्या 2 पोलिसांना आपण तत्काळ सस्पेंड केलेलं आहे आणि अतुल कुलकर्णी हे जे आपले एक चांगला अधिकारी आपला डीजी सीआयडी क्राईम त्यांना त्यांच्या एका नेतृत्वाखाली शोध करायला आपण सांगितलेले आहे. एक तर हा सगळा शोधच सीआयडी क्राईम कडे आपण दिलेला आहे.
India Today also spoke to Dr. Vishwas Valvi, a doctor who is one of the victims, survivor in fact of the Palghar attempted lynching, because he was attacked at the same place just a few days before this incident took place. Raises a lot of questions as far as the government of Maharashtra and the police is concerned.
मैं मेरे डॉक्टर साथी के साथ और मेरे ड्राइवर के साथ उसी गांव के आसपास धान वाटप करके और हेल्थ चेकअप करके हम लोग अपने घर लौट रहे थे. तब कुछ 200 लोगों ने सारनी गांव में हमारी गाड़ी को अड़ाया और हमारे गाड़ी पे हल्ला बोला. उस घटनास्थल से मैंने पुलिस को फ़ोन किया था और इसी पुलिस स्टेशन से कुछ 2 पुलिस की गाड़ी 10 पुलिस अधिकारी तुरंत वहाँ पहुँचे और किसी तरह हम हमारी जान बचा के वहाँ से निकल पाए। ये पूरा इलाका आदिवासियों का है। वहाँ गांव में चोर आए हैं ऐसी अफवाह फैलाई गई है और इसी अफवाह चलते लोगों में गलतफहमी है और इसी गलतफहमी का शिकार होके ये लोग कोई भी नया आदमी गाड़ी से आ रहा है जा रहा है उस पर हमला करते हैं। मेरा सभी लोगों से ये अनुरोध है कि कृपया इसको सांप्रदायिक रंग ना दे।
Politics on this has also started. Listening to some political reactions.
ही पालघरला जी घटना झाली ही अतिशय दुर्दैवी घटना आहे। उच्चस्तरीय चौकशीची ती सुरुवात झालेली आहे आणि ही संपूर्ण घटना झाली, ही संपूर्ण तो ट्रायबल बेल्ट आहे संपूर्ण आणि याच्यामध्ये जवळजवळ 101 लोकांना अटक करण्यात आलेली आहे।
पालघर की मॉब लिंचिंग की घटना ये बहुत ही गंभीर है। जिस क्रूरता के साथ उनको मारा गया है, मानवता को भी शर्म आए इस प्रकार की ये क्रूरता है। और इसमें सबसे शर्मनाक बात यह है कि पुलिस के सामने इस प्रकार से भीड़ लोगों को मारती है। कहीं ना कहीं महाराष्ट्र में कानून व्यवस्था लचर हो गई है, कानून व्यवस्था दिखाई नहीं पड़ती।
As always, let's just give you a few facts on the various claims being made around coronavirus and other things across, in fact, the social media before we move on from 7 at 7. Now, the one claim which is going viral is a man spits on bread packets in India. The fact-check team of India Today has in fact found the incident took place in 2019 in Philippines. It's not even from India. This is absolutely false, has nothing to do with coronavirus in India. Another claim was that school textbook it lists cure for coronavirus. Meanwhile, this is again a viral image which is not related to coronavirus. This is also a false claim. That's all that we have in this edition of 7 at 7. On the other side, continuation of India Today e-conclave, specifically focusing on the coronavirus. Rajdeep Sardesai will be an exclusive conversation with country's top doctors, Dr. Randeep Guleria of the AIIMS and Dr. Naresh Trehan. Stay tuned. That's coming up after a short break.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.